went back and looked last year, I think Bryce Pierre played 8 reps. He'll probably go over 300 snaps in this game. Ryan Morgan played 11 snaps last year. He'll probably be over 250 snaps. So, guys that have embraced the change, that have embraced me as their coach, that I think have done a phenomenal job of learning and growing and becoming productive players that we can rely on. We've played all 4 tight ends. Last week was the second game that all 4 tight ends, scholarship tight ends, had receptions in the game. So I feel that we've really built a strong room that's depth, that supports each other, complements each other. There's no jealousy, there's no bickering and fighting. They know that when I put one of them on the field, I'm putting them there because they can do the job, for what the team needs. And so it's been fun to be a part of a group that really has bought into being a part of a team. And that's the tight end position. It's not about being the star. There's going to be games where you can be the star, and Jalen's proven that. But there's going to be some games where you impact the game without the ball, and you have to be willing to do that. And you have to embrace that. They've done a great job doing that.
This will be your first rivalry game as a coach on the Arizona State staff. You, in the last few years, have had a unique perspective on the rivalry. Coaching at Saguaro, I'm sure you sent players to both programs. How do you view this game and your thoughts on this rivalry matchup coming in?
Yeah, it's kind of strange for me because obviously my dad coached here in Frank Kush, and so I grew up hearing about it. I went to Arizona State. I was in the stands. I was at basketball games watching us take on those guys and really developing the hatred that you develop when you're a Sun Devil. And then I took a job as a head high school coach, where my job is to help promote and create opportunities for my players. And every opportunity is a great opportunity. And I had to kind of take a step back from really choosing sides and try to be very neutral. And I just say it feels good to be back on the side where I can choose sides and I can draw the line in the sand, because it was hard for me for a while to be neutral there. But no, it's a bitter rivalry. It's what rivalry should be. You shouldn't really feel good about the guys across the way. It just makes it that much more fun to beat those guys when you have a little bit of hate in your heart for them. So I know people don't want to throw that word around. I tell my kids all the time, hate's a strong word, don't use it. But anybody that's been a part of the Arizona State-Arizona rivalry knows that word has meaning, and we want nothing more than to go out there on Saturday and beat those guys.
Great having you back in the program, Jason. All the best to you.
I appreciate you.
Thanks,
Coach,
buddy. Appreciate it.
Coach, it's an Arizona team that's really had program-defining season now, coming up on 9 wins. Is it, you talked so much about how the hatred of the rivalry, now that they're playing so well, is it kind of added incentive of, hey, we can go spoil their season?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, there's no doubt. I think that's the great thing about this rivalry is there's been years where we've had, a lot on the line, and they've come in and ruined it for us and vice versa. So, Coach Dillingham said this is kind of it's like a second season. It's like a bowl game in itself where you play the first 11, and then whatever happened. It really doesn't carry any weight into the game, because anytime you line up against your bitter rival, it's the team that's the hungriest, that's the most disciplined, that's the most detailed, that plays with the most passion that usually comes out on top.
They've had some really good defensive performances this year against some pretty darn good offenses in this league. How do you, without giving away your game plan, honestly, how do you plan to kind of attack it?
Yeah, I think you look at who they are, what they do. You look at the things that people have done throughout the year that they've had success with, and we just try to put our players in the best position to make plays against the scheme that we're seeing. So Coach Dillingham is a master when it comes to that. I think he does a great job. He's not afraid to be creative. He's not afraid to throw some wrinkles that teams haven't seen. And at the end of the day, we feel good about the talent we have. As good as they've been, and hats off to them. They've done a phenomenal job. Seeing the building job that they've done from being a 1-win team to being a 5-win team to now being where they're at now. You have to tip your cap to them. But we feel very confident in the team that we're going to roll out on Saturday, and the fire in our kids' bellies that they're going to have to play these guys, and our ability to create some matchups and create some looks that are going to give them problems. And we just got to be ready to strap up and play 4 quarters of football, because they do. They fly around. They're physical on defense. They do a good job of maximizing their talent, and we've got to do the same for our guys.
As a former high school coach around here in a pretty significant position, you know how Arizona and Arizona State, a lot of it is the main draw for these high school kids around here. Does it kind of impact the recruiting pitch of when you go and win this game, that should you go and win this game, that this would make you the kind of kingpin of Arizona college football again?
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, everything affects recruiting, right? I mean, everything that you do affects recruiting. we hope that kids that grew up in the Valley are Sun Devils through and through, and that loyalty doesn't waver on year to year, game to game. But there's no doubt that it's a lot of recruiting ammunition. If we can go there, they've got some positive momentum. We're trying to build our foundation right now. If we can go out on Saturday and beat these guys, it's something that we can carry to the offseason and say, hey, look, these guys have done a great job building. Their first year, they were 1-11. Now we can get our fourth win. We beat our rivals. We carry some momentum to the offseason. So there's no doubt that that's something that you can use. But, at the end of the day, I feel like if you're a kid growing up in the Valley, you should want to come to Arizona State no matter what. And just because of what this place is, Tempe, Arizona. I mean, look around right now. We're late November. It's 75 degrees outside. It's a beautiful place to go to school. I went to school here, so but no, absolutely. There's a lot on the line when it comes to bragging rights. When it comes to being able, when we get out on the road recruiting, and we go into high schools. We definitely want to go in there with the territorial cut back home where it's supposed to be.